All right, buckle up, because today we're taking a deep dive into messages of obsession.
A digital program by dating coach Karen.
Yeah, and this one is, it's a wild ride, to say the least.
You know what's fascinating about this program is that it really focuses on this, universal desire
Oh, yeah.
to make a man obsessed with you.
Absolutely.
But instead of the usual kind of, dating advice,
Right.
Karen focuses on the power of using specific messages.
Oh, wow.
Almost like you're sending a secret code to unlock a man's heart.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so to really illustrate how powerful these so-called emotion-inducing messages can be, the program shares the story of Miles.
Right.
Now, Miles was, like, self-proclaimed womanizer.
Okay.
The type of guy who swore off commitment,
I think we've all encountered a guy like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At some point.
Yeah, so Miles was, like, totally skeptical at first when he heard about Karen's methods.
Understandably so.
Right. But get this, after just 3 emails from Karen,
Whoa.
he was head over heels.
Wow. 3 emails.
3 emails. We're talking a complete 180.
That's incredible.
I know, it's crazy.
It makes you wonder what was in those emails.
I know, right? And it gets even crazier.
Okay.
He even drove 2 hours for a 2-minute meeting with Karen.
2 hours.
2 hours.
For 2 minutes.
That's some serious dedication, don't you think?
That's intense, yeah.
Really makes you wonder what kind of message could spark that kind of reaction.
Yeah, like what could possibly
Right.
compel someone to do that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just Miles either.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Karen's program is packed with stories from women who claim to have seen just, like, incredible results
Really?
using these messages.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So, for example, there's Nicole.
Okay.
She was seeing this guy who was constantly playing hot and cold.
Yeah, the worst.
I know, it's so frustrating,
Yeah.
leaving her feeling totally confused.
Oh, I've been there.
Right. But after using one of Karen's messages, he suddenly wanted to commit. Yeah, it's like she flipped a switch.
So, overnight, he went from hot and cold to...
Totally committed.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That's pretty amazing.
I know, right? And then there's Eliza,
Okay.
who was dating a total player,
Mm-hmm.
the type who seemed allergic to commitment.
Yeah.
Karen gave her this message called Knockout Baby.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, this guy was begging Eliza to give him a chance,
No way.
trying to prove his love.
Wow, knockout baby.
Man, Knockout Baby. Yeah,
Okay, I need to know more about this.
I know, right? These stories are pretty dramatic, you have to admit.
They are. It's very captivating.
It really makes you wonder, what is it about these messages that seem to have such a powerful effect?
Yeah, is there something special about the words themselves?
Well, Karen tries to, back up her claims
Right,
with
right.
some science.
Right.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, listening.
She talks about oxytocin,
Oh.
a hormone that plays a big role in how we bond with others.
Yeah, I've heard of oxytocin. Isn't that what they call the love hormone?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's often associated with those feelings of, love, trust, and connection.
Right, right.
Karen even mentions this study where men given oxytocin were less likely to flirt with attractive women,
Interesting.
suggesting that it might, boost their commitment
Oh,
to their existing partners.
so boost their commitment. But
Yeah.
how does she connect that to, making single men obsessed?
That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you bridge that gap?
Right.
That's where the program gets into the specifics of these emotion-inducing messages.
Okay.
It's like, imagine a menu of emotions,
All right.
but instead of, appetizers and entrees,
Right.
you're picking feelings that you want to stir up in a man.
Oh, wow.
Intrigued.
Definitely
A
intrigued.
little skeptical.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, let's see if Karen's menu lives up to its claims.
Okay, let's dig in.
All right, so what kind of emotional dishes are we talking about here?
Well, Karen's program, it boasts a whole range of these messages, each tailored for specific situations.
wow.
So you've got messages like knockout baby, which is supposed to create intense desire.
Okay.
Then there's oomph of love for inspiring lifelong devotion.
Oh, wow.
And even Goody-Goody Monogamy to encourage marriage proposals.
So it's like she's created a message for every stage of a relationship.
It seems that way.
From that initial spark
Yeah,
all the way to, the altar.
exactly. Yeah. And the names themselves are so catchy, right?
They really are.
They definitely play into that fantasy of being able to control a man's emotions.
Oh, yeah.
With a few well-chosen words.
I have to admit, they definitely pique my curiosity.
Yeah.
I'm already picturing myself sending the hot mama tease message
Yeah.
and having like men from my past lining up to take me out.
Interesting.
Just like Luana, another one of Karen's success stories.
Oh, tell me about Luana.
She's a single mom who was like really struggling to find a meaningful connection until she tried this program.
So she found success using these messages.
Apparently so.
Wow.
And then there's Shirley,
Okay.
who used the wow baby wow message.
Wow, baby. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And had her ex showering her with flowers and apologies,
Oh, wow.
begging for a second chance.
That's pretty powerful.
Okay, so these stories are pretty tempting,
They are.
but a part of me is still like, is this for real?
Right.
Or is this just clever marketing?
It's a good question.
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, the million-dollar question.
And to answer that,
Yeah.
we need to take a closer look at how Karen actually presents her program,
Okay.
especially the sales pitch.
Because there's always a sales pitch.
Always, right?
Yeah.
And in this case, it's a pretty good one.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. She starts by, emphasizing her expertise,
Oh.
reminding you that women pay her like $300 an hour
Whoa.
for private coaching sessions.
$300 an hour.
$300 an hour. So she's like establishing her credibility right off the bat,
I see.
making it seem like, hey, this information is super valuable.
Right.
But then she hits you with this massive discount.
Interesting. Okay.
Exactly.
So it's a classic marketing tactic.
Oh, yeah.
Create a sense of urgency.
Totally.
Make you feel like you're getting an amazing deal.
It's like, oh my gosh, I have to get this now.
Exactly.
Because it's such a good deal.
Yeah.
So she offers the entire program for just $37.
Oh, wow. What a steal.
Right. A fraction of the supposed, like, $300 value.
Yeah.
And then just when you think it can't get any better.
It gets better.
Oh, yeah.
What else?
She throws in a 60-day money-back guarantee.
Oh, wow. So there's, like, no risk.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like she's saying, hey, you have nothing to lose. Just give it a try.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong, can you?
It's a very compelling offer, you have to admit.
Very compelling.
It's combining this, like, captivating personal story
Right.
with hints of, like, scientific backing, those compelling testimonials,
Yeah.
and a limited time offer.
Right.
It's all designed to make you feel like, oh my gosh, I'd be crazy not to jump on this opportunity.
She's, like, hitting all the right notes from a marketing perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
But does that translate to real-life results?
Right. That's the question.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
That's the part I'm still grappling with.
It's a good question. And that's the heart of our deep dive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
We've laid out the basics of messages of obsession,
Mm-hmm.
the intriguing story of Miles, the science of oxytocin, those, tantalizing testimonials, and the carefully crafted sales pitch.
Right.
But the real question is,
Yeah.
what do you make of it?
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, it really is. We've given you the information, but now it's time for the real deep dive.
Right.
Your own analysis,
Uh,
the decision of whether to believe or dismiss.
mm,
It's all yours.
it is, and it's a decision worth, like, really thinking about.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot to unpack here.
And-
Do you think these messages could actually work?
That's where things get a little tricky.
Okay.
Karen's kind of walking the fine line
Yep.
between science and marketing.
Yeah.
She mentions oxytocin and its role in bonding, which is like legitimate science.
Mhm.
But then she makes this like leap,
Yeah.
suggesting that her messages can trigger a flood of oxytocin in a man's brain,
Right.
leading to obsession.
And that's where, like, my skepticism kicks in.
Okay.
Is there any, like, scientific evidence to back up that claim?
Not really.
Okay.
There's no scientific proof that specific phrases or messages can directly manipulate someone's hormones to that extent.
Okay, so then how do we explain Miles' story?
Right.
He went from, like, confirmed bachelor
Yeah.
to devoted partner practically overnight.
Yeah, and what about all those other testimonials?
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
all these other women.
That's what's so fascinating about this program. It
Yeah.
really raises more questions than it answers.
Yeah.
It's possible that these messages do work,
Okay.
but on like a psychological level,
Yeah.
tapping into a man's existing insecurities,
Right.
desires, or
Ah.
vulnerabilities.
So maybe it's not so much about the specific words themselves,
Right.
but more about how those words make a man feel.
Exactly.
Okay.
Perhaps these messages create a sense of like validation,
Mm-hmm.
intrigue,
Right.
or even a challenge
Right.
that sparks a man's interest.
Right.
Think about it. Men are often drawn to women who make them feel like they need to, like, win them over, right?
Yeah, it's like playing to a man's ego.
Totally.
His desire to be seen as, like, a hero
Mhm.
or protector.
Yeah, it's like that chase,
Right.
that pursuit.
It makes you wonder if Karen has, like, tapped into some fundamental truths about male psychology.
Right.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's definitely possible.
Okay.
Of course, we also have to consider that some of these success stories might be,
Right.
exaggerated or even fabricated
Yeah,
for marketing purposes.
that's true.
It's important to take those testimonials
Right.
with a grain of salt.
Right. We always have to be cautious of anything that sounds too good to be true.
Absolutely.
But even if we, assume that these messages do have some level of effectiveness,
Yeah,
it brings up a lot of, interesting questions.
it does. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how much control do we really want over someone else's emotions?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. Is it ethical to use these kinds of techniques, even if they are effective?
Yeah. I mean,
So,
on the one hand, you could say that, dating can feel like a game,
oh, totally.
and people use all sorts of strategies to
Yeah.
attract a partner.
Yeah, it's like part of the game, right?
Right.
But these messages could be seen as like a form of manipulation.
Right. Especially if they're used on someone who is particularly vulnerable or
Yeah.
susceptible to this kind of influence.
And even if someone's intentions are harmless,
Right.
the outcome could be totally unpredictable. What if a message backfires
Right.
and creates unintended consequences?
Totally.
What if it pushes someone away instead of drawing them closer?
Exactly. There's so many what ifs.
It's a lot to consider.
Yeah.
So what's the bottom line here?
Right.
Are these messages of obsession just clever marketing?
Yeah.
Or is there something more to them?
That's the real question.
That's the heart of our deep dive, right?
It is.
I mean, we're not here to give a definitive answer.
Right.
We're here to explore
Yeah.
the different sides of the story,
Explore the nuance.
to weigh the evidence,
Mhm.
and to encourage you to think critically.
It's about giving you, the listener, the tools to draw your own conclusions.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
as we ponder the effectiveness
Yeah.
and potential implications of these messages,
Right.
what do you think is the most intriguing aspect of Karen's program?
For me, it's the sheer variety of messages.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
She's created this whole arsenal designed to address practically every imaginable
Right.
dating scenario.
You've got the knockout baby for instant desire,
Right.
the Goody-Goody Monogamy
Hmm.
to subtly nudge him towards marriage.
Exactly.
There's even the wow baby wow,
Hmm.
which seems designed to make an ex regret ever letting you go.
It's like she's created this menu of emotional responses.
Right.
And you can pick and choose which one you want to trigger.
Oh, I like that.
It definitely appeals to that fantasy of
Yeah.
controlling a man's emotions
Right.
with a few well-chosen words.
And the names are so suggestive.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard not to be curious about what each message entails.
Yeah, that's part of the marketing genius.
Mm-hmm.
These names, they
Yeah.
evoke specific emotions
Right.
and outcomes,
So-
creating a sense of anticipation and excitement.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Even though, I'm a bit skeptical,
Hmm.
a part of me is thinking, what if it actually works?
Right.
What if these messages could, help me get the relationship I've always wanted?
It's a tempting thought.
It is. It's very tempting.
But again, it's important to temper that allure
Mhm.
with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Because even if these messages do have some effect,
Right.
relationships are complicated.
Oh, absolutely.
There are no guarantees.
Exactly.
Reducing human emotions to a set of, trigger phrases.
Yeah.
It's an oversimplification of how relationships actually work.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much more to it than that.
There really is.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a tempting idea,
Oh, yeah.
especially for someone who is, struggling in their dating life
Hmm.
or feeling frustrated by the lack of, progress.
Right, exactly.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, which brings us back to, the core of this deep dive.
Okay.
That, universal desire for
Yeah.
connection and the lengths we'll go to
Right.
to find it.
Because ultimately, that's what these messages of obsession tap into. That deep longing for love and belonging.
Exactly. And while Karen's program may not offer, a guaranteed solution,
Right.
it does offer a glimpse into the power of language
Mhm.
and the complexities
Right.
of human emotion.
And that in itself
Yeah.
is a fascinating topic to explore.
Definitely.
It really is. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into
Ah.
messages of obsession,
Mm-hmm.
it all comes down to this.
Okay.
Would you be tempted to try these messages?
Mm.
And if so, what is it about this program that sparks your curiosity?
It's a question worth pondering. Is it the desire for like a shortcut to love?
Right.
The allure of having a secret weapon in the dating game?
Okay.
Or maybe just a fascination with like the power of words?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a mix of all those things. We
Yeah.
all crave that, like, connection and belonging.
Hmm.
But the dating world can be, like, tough.
Oh, absolutely.
It's easy to see why someone might be drawn to a program that promises to, like, make things easier, to give them an edge.
Right, like a little boost.
Yeah, exactly.
The human heart is a complex
It
thing.
really is.
We yearn for love,
Hmm.
but we often like hesitate to put ourselves out there.
Right? It's scary. We're
Yeah,
vulnerable.
exactly. Karen's program really taps into that vulnerability,
Yeah.
offering that sense of like control and the possibility of,
I mean, the desired outcome.
desired outcome. Exactly.
Like that age-old idea of, like, a love potion
Totally.
or a magic spell.
Yeah.
We know, like, logically
Right.
that it's not realistic,
Mm-hmm.
but there's still a part of us that, like, wants to believe.
Yeah. We want that fairy tale,
Totally.
in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
That idea of having a secret formula for love
Yeah.
can be incredibly appealing.
So tempting, right?
Very tempting.
But as we've discussed, like, relationships rarely work that way.
Right.
True, lasting love requires more than just the right words.
It
It takes, like, honesty, vulnerability,
Right.
and a willingness to, like, navigate the ups and downs together.
Absolutely. It's a partnership.
It is.
Yeah.
So Karen's messages of obsession
Yeah.
might offer a temporary illusion of control,
It might.
but they can't replace the genuine connection that comes from, like, building a relationship based on mutual respect and understanding.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So where does this leave us?
Right. Good question.
Should we, like, dismiss the entire program as just another, like, marketing gimmick?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I think there's value in exploring the ideas Karen presents.
Mhm.
Even if we, don't buy into every claim,
Yeah.
maybe these messages can, offer some insights into male psychology. Or
Right.
maybe they can help us, think about communication in a new way.
Right, like reframe things a little bit.
Exactly.
Perhaps the real takeaway is that we all have the power to, like, craft messages
Mhm.
that resonate with others. Messages that, like, convey our genuine feelings and intentions.
Absolutely. The most powerful messages are the ones that come from the heart,
Totally agree.
not from, a formula or a script.
Exactly. So as we conclude our deep dive
Yes.
into messages of obsession,
Mm-hmm.
we encourage you to, like, keep an open mind,
Yeah.
but also a healthy dose of skepticism.
Absolutely. Remember, the best way to find love
Hmm.
is to be yourself.
Yeah.
Communicate honestly
Yes.
and build connections based on authenticity and mutual respect.
Great advice.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this, like, fascinating exploration.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Until next time, keep those messages flowing,
Mm-hmm.
but most importantly, stay true to yourself.
Mm.